sales and marketing executives. I'm Kelly Lucenti with Retool Marketing. I'm a brand strategist and I run a creative services, branding, and marketing agency out of Minneapolis. What are you doing on January 20th? I have been asked to come to your luncheon and actually speak. And the subject that I'm going to be speaking on is personal brand and the power personal brand has on how you are perceived to others, both in your personal and professional lives. Something that I wanted to share with you before I get there is the importance of personal brand and some of the things that I'm going to be sharing when I actually am there with you live on the 20th. Something recently came out by Forbes, a stat actually on personal brand, and I wanted to share it with you. They reported after doing a study that 15% of people have actually done work on their personal brand, and of that 15%, 5% are actually living it every day. Well, pretty sad statistic, right? But that's not actually the worst of it. The worst of it is that 70% of us think that we have done work on our personal brand, and of that 70%, 50% of us think that we are living it every day. So what does that mean? Well, it really means that most of us are walking around like a hot mess. We don't even know it. So why personal brand? Why now? Well, believe it or not, you have influence over how you're perceived by your audience. Let me give you an example. So I would imagine that you feel pretty comfortable telling people what it is that you do for a living. That's great. Most of us can. But are you able to articulate what happens because of you? And more importantly, what you're known for? Most of us can't. And therein lies some opportunity because believe it or not, brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. I mean, how many of you at first glance, when you first meet somebody, judge them in a very specific way, and then after getting to know them a while, your perception shifts oftentimes very dramatically, right? Well, if you don't do something about how you're perceived when you show up, other people are going to form their own opinion, and they are going to judge you according to their own devices. When in fact, what you can do is you can actually influence how that shows up, how you show up, and also how you're perceived. And so what I wanted to do is encourage you to show up for this luncheon and give me an hour of your time, and I will help give you golden nuggets and immediately implementable action steps that you can take right now to shift how you are perceived. As a matter of fact, last month I was in Salt Lake City and I actually spoke on the very presentation that I am going to share with you. And afterwards, most of the attendees, most of them were corporate execs, asked me to come back to their corporate offices and actually teach a full-day workshop on this very thing. So at the very least, be there on the 20th. You will be able to hear what I have to say about personal brand. Bring your phones, sharpen your pencils, eat your Wheaties. We're going to cover a lot in this hour. I'm also going to be there beforehand, and I'll stay a little after if you have questions. I just recently wrote a book on brand and the power of branding called Moology. I'm actually going to bring this with, and so you'll be able to look at that, but also some of the things we talk about are actually the teachings that I talk about in my book. So I think that you're going to find it quite interesting, certainly entertaining, and hopefully enlightening. So I look forward to seeing you on the 20th. Bye-bye.